Too much jihad and too little time. Isn't it amazing? I mean amazing as to what the heck is going on, not just in the world, but now in Boston today. On the 1st of May, it's May Day, folks, on the 1st of May, 2013, a little bit after 5 o'clock in the afternoon here on WNN 1470. WNN is our 50,000-watt flagship station in Boca Raton, where we're broadcasting from North Miami Beach all the way up to parts of Orlando, all over the East Coast, covering a whole host of people and a lot of jihadis in South Florida, folks. This is Tom Trento, your host today on TrentoVision. This week, if you've been following our show, this week we are dealing with a subject, 4-part series. Today's part 2, 4-part series called It's Islam Stupid. It's Islam Stupid. And we showed you yesterday in our rollout what we meant by that. And you're with us today, whether you're in the whether you're in an automobile listening on the radio on WNN 1470, or you can actually listen on the radio on iHeartRadio. You got to get that application. Very slick. Go to your search section of the app section of your iPhone or smartphone. Look for iHeart, H-E-A-R-T, radio. Download that. You put in a couple of little bits of information. And then you go to South Florida, WNN, and you can listen to the show 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock every weekday anywhere in the world where you get a little digital signal on your phone. We are also typically replayed at 8 o'clock at night. Our show is on from 8 to 9 in the evenings, rebroadcast. The live broadcast is 5 to 6. So we thank you for being with us, and as you know, here on TrentoVision.tv, that's how you're watching the show. We have a sister organization, the United West, our counterterrorism, activism, educational organization, where we literally fight the jihadis ideologically. Before they go kinetic, blowing things up, we try to preempt that in terms of waking America up, waking people up, so that we understand the ideology behind the bombs. It's Islam stupid. And if that's what it is, we need the courage and the commitment and the passion and the strength of character to name what the enemy and the ideological problems are. That's what we're all about here on TrentoVision.tv, and we can use your help. This whole circus runs by donor dollars. If you donate to TrentoVision.tv, theunitedwest.org, your donations are tax deductible. And none of us get a salary. We all commit our time, but we got to pay for all this crazy equipment and airtime and all of that. So we appreciate your donations for sure. And we partner, as you know, with various groups. One of our radio partners is Steve Kane, the Steve Kane Show, longest running show in South Florida, talk show. He's on every morning, 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock with his sidekick, Robin. It's like Batman and Robin, those two guys. Brian Craig does a tremendous job. And they will start your morning off like nobody else will. And they got a whole cadre of whack job listeners and caller-inners that argue the Obama position. And you will have your brain tickled, and you'll laugh a little bit and maybe get angry as you listen to some of the absurdities coming out of some of the liberals' mouths that are articulating the Obama policies. As you know, here on TrentoVision, we pick up 5 to 6 in the afternoon, and our job is to deal with national security issues. And one of our national security issues is our good friends over at Tea Party Community, Tim Saletti and Ken Crow and Jan Morgan, all of them working together. Well, they got a pretty cool deal going on right now. And if you come to my screen, gentlemen, I'll show you what they have. They have a petition, and we want all our good friends over at Tea Party Community to sign the petition. It's on the homepage, teapartycommunity.com, Hands Off Our Guns. And they're running this interesting campaign. If you can come back to me for a second. There. And let's see. They're running a contest for the top 20 images that will go on the website. Oh, I have the website right here. Hang on. Right there. All right, come on back to my screen. This is the website that is hosting the petition. And they're looking for the top 20 pictures of you holding your gun. And there's a whole deal here where they're going to go present one of these guns to a leading politician who's anti-gun. So go to Tea Party Community. You'll wind up getting a link to this site if you can come back to me. And I will tell you a little bit of the details. You have to submit your photos up to this Friday, 2 more days, Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time. Voting in the contest ends on Sunday at 4 p.m. Central. And you can go to the website, as I said, get all the information, teapartycommunity.com. And the other website is handsofourguns.com. That's for our Tea Party folks. But right now, I want to take a moment to thank those unique individuals that excel at the art of defending truth, justice, and the American way. Those individuals that put their lives in danger every minute of the day when they're on the job. These individuals that not only join the United States military, they take it a step further. They want to be somebody special, and not because they need to be special. They want to do extraordinary work for this great country. They believe in the red, white, and blue. They bleed red, white, and blue. They live to protect the Constitution. They live to fight evil. And they join these special groups, and they become operators in a special group, special operators. But then some of them even rise up in various tiers. And when you get to the top tier, and you're a tier 1 special operator, you're the best of the best of the best in the world. 2 years ago today, folks, a small team, 20, 30 of them, 2 helicopters went into Abbottabad, Pakistan. We know the story very well now. And let's see if I can find this right here. No, not that one. If you can come to my screen. Today we'd like to recognize the tremendous success of SEAL Team 6 2 years ago today, May 1st. They launched Operation Neptune Spear, May 1st, 2011, went into Abbottabad, Pakistan, and killed dead several people. But the primary high-value target, as we all know, was Osama bin Laden. And so we want to just give a shout-out for sure to the operators in SEAL Team 6 and the guys that are still out there and fighting these battles. But through the uniqueness, you can come back to me without that little thing there, through the uniqueness of the global reach of TrentoVision, we got contacts all over. We got universal contacts. Through the tremendous capabilities that we can exploit here, we have a special guest for you for a few minutes. We were able, don't ask me how we did this, but if we had some music to kind of play along with it, it might work. Don't ask me how we did this, but we brought someone back from, a long, deep swim. So if we could get our special guest in here. Let's see if we have room for our special guest. Oh my God! Is that who I think it is? Is that who I think it is? Are you okay? Are you okay? Is that you?
It is me.
Is this Osama next to me?
It is me.
Oh my word. Where have you been?
Swimming.
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 Well, I don't want to get into the details how we arranged to get you here for a short interview, your 2-year anniversary of swimming. Have you been under the water for 2 years?
2 years? Oh, 2 years minus a day.
And how is it out there? Down there, up there, down there?
Dark, cold, uncomfortable. Not very fun. I wish for my old cave back.
He wished for his own cave back. Can we hear him?
No.
We can't hear him. His mic's not on. Your mic got wet. Your mic got wet, Usama. Here.
Electricity and water, not very good mix.
Talk into my microphone, okay?
Thank you. Yes, electricity and water, very bad. Oh, thank you for helping.
You're going to have to hold your beard up.
Oh, yes, I'm used to it.
Shh, Mark, you're killing my ears. You're going to have to hold your beard up so that our folks can hear you, because they cannot hear you. You're muffled.
Is this better?
No, you really have to hold it open. And I guess if you're dead for 2 years, you would be muffled.
Yes, I feel very pruny as well. Very.
Do me a favor. Don't look directly at me like that. Look
I'm
at
scaring you into death.
I prefer that you look into the camera, because I don't want to hurt. I don't want to have to hurt you again.
Please.
The 6 boys got you once. I don't want to hurt you again.
Please, the frighteningness. And you, how can you praise the SEAL Team 6 and then have me on the show immediately following? You bad man.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you, what was it like that night? Well, do you recognize these guys? If we can put these guys on the screen. I want to find out. This is a rare interview, folks. Here we are, Tom Trento, TrentoVision, a little bit after 5 o'clock in the afternoon on May 1st,
Yes,
May
yes,
Day.
very
2 years
bad,
since
very
this
bad
guy's
memory.
demise. We got him back for a quick interview. He's all soaking wet and everything over here. We got to get him out of here. He stinks like a fish, like a
It's
dead
hot
fish.
like hell, and I should know.
There may have been some Italian guys on there. You're sleeping with the fishes. So if we can put this screen up. Look right over there. Do you have TV where you're living now?
No,
No?
not so lucky.
See if you can recognize those
Oh,
guys.
yes, very bad memories, yes. In fact, the last time I saw them, I soiled myself.
You soiled yourself.
Yes.
You have to really speak into the microphone.
Yes, I soiled myself very, very bad.
Okay. Well, how about this right here? Do you recognize that picture? Is that you in that picture right there?
Yes,
Could you tell us what's going on right there?
very bad things. It looks like my demise, no?
Yeah, you had a couple of guys in the room. And who's that lady with you there?
That is one of my wives.
Oh, and she tried to protect you.
Yes, very brave woman.
Okay.
Very
Now,
brave,
now
yeah.
I know we have just a few moments with you.
Yes, I've got very big schedule. I have Fox News after this and CNN after that. So please, make
Okay, you're
you are
doing
my favorite infidel. So
okay. What? Where are you? I mean, is the Virgin thing for real, or what's the deal?
well, that is very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. As you see, I have gone to hell. And in hell, you do not get the 72 virgins, the 10 little boys. You get nothing. It is just pure hell. And I'm not liking this. And if I knew then what I know now, I might not have been King Jihadi.
Oh, so you're having second thoughts, burning in hell.
Yes, it is not what I was told to expect. In fact, if the one thing I can tell you jihadis out there is the 72 virgins, they are not waiting for you.
They're not waiting for
They
you.
are not, or the 10 little boys.
Oh, so maybe that's the moral of the story.
That is the moral. I must say, jihadis out there, the promise of the 72 virgins, it does not exist. You must question. You must question this ideology.
Straight from the stinky lips of Osama bin Laden. We're going to have to let you go right now, but I
Thank
think
you
it's a
much,
pretty good message.
Kufar.
Okay, good. So I'm going to touch you. All right, take it easy. We'll see you. Goodbye. Osama bin Laden, ladies and gentlemen, first here on TrentoVision.tv. 2-year anniversary. Thank you, SEAL Team 6, all the special operators, the CIA, the analysts at the CIA that worked for 10 years, all the people involved. You know, we've heard all kinds of stories about President Obama and his hesitancy to engage, and Panetta having to push him, and we know that, but he was on duty at that time, and you know, good job. We got bin Laden. Thank you, everyone that did that. The war's not over.
I can do it 3 times.
And ho, 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 now your microphone's on. Hey, Quiet, 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 quiet. How's that work? When he dumps back in the water, his microphone goes on.
We threw him off the ship again.
Yeah. Where are you going? Hi, Tom Trento here at how many minutes past 5 o'clock is it right now? My clock is still not working. Anybody know that? Anybody know how many minutes past 5 o'clock? That would be a little math. It's about 20 minutes past 5, something like that. On WNN 1470, on TrentoVision.tv. 2-year anniversary of the death, the killing of Osama bin Laden, the head of Al-Qaeda. Folks, do not buy into this administration's narrative that as a result of bin Laden's dead and GM's alive and Al-Qaeda's dying. Not true. Al-Qaeda is an inspirational, ideological idea that can transcend geographic boundaries and as part of the culture of Islam. That's why we're doing this series called It's Islam Stupid. The Al-Qaeda ideology of kinetic or physical offensive jihad is part of what Islam is all about. And we're going to get into the details of that in a couple of moments. But we had breaking news late last night here in Florida that we must attend to. Unbelievable development late last night. We have a special guest Skyping in to tell us about it. As you know, here on TrentoVision.tv, WNN 1470, we've been following American laws for American courts. And all this fits together. It's Islam Stupid is an ideology that has the Sharia at its core. And Muslims are obligated, indeed mandated, we've shown, to implement and establish the Sharia in the communities, the countries, the villages, the hamlets in which they live. The state of Florida has a piece of legislation pending that says no foreign law, whether it's Islamic law or Italian law or Jewish law or any foreign law that supersedes the U.S. and the Florida State Constitution. The thing was DOA 24 hours ago, and something happened, and it is alive and well right now. Do we have our special guest with us?
Yes, we do.
Let's bring on Jerry Gordon. Jerry Gordon, one of the chief editors of New English Review, a former intelligence officer with the United States Army, and a scholar, brilliant thinker, good friend, has been at the center of the articulation of the narrative to push ALAC, American Laws for American Courts, through, and to develop the opposition arguments against those who want to stop it. Hi, Jerry. How are you today?
How are you, Tom?
Good. What the heck happened to take this thing from DOA to alive and well?
Well, I think there's a number of things. The kind of programs that you've been operating on or projecting to the public. Clearly an intensive email and phone-in campaign that several groups have been engaged in. Among them are the Christian Family Coalition, largely in Florida, and also Dave Caton's Florida Family Association, and even the folks at Act for America.
Wow.
So it suffices to say that the Senate leadership has been inundated with this stuff. And there have been a couple of other things that have probably helped in this endeavor, not the least of which is a new campaign for a no vote on Senate Bill 58, and this time from an old friend of ours. His name is Ahmed Badir, or Badir as you would like to call him.
Ahmed Badir.
Yeah.
Ahmed Badir. Mr. Badir's henchmen squeal like a stuck pig. Of course, they don't want that reference.
No, I guess not.
When it became evident that at late yesterday afternoon, the Senate voted to release SB 58, which had been languishing since April 9th in the Senate Rules Committee. Now that set the stage for what will occur tomorrow, which are a series of oral arguments and debates on the floor of the Senate to potentially tee up a vote on Friday to pass SB 58 and probably marry it up, as they like to say in the legal argot, with the companion bill, which has already been passed on the House on April the 18th. That's SB
House bill, I think 351.
351, right. That's correct. And that was done under the capable leadership of Larry Metz, Representative Larry Metz. Right. Now, what's interesting about it, and I think I may have discussed this previously, but last week there was an opportunity.
Oh, well, hang on one second, Jerry. We have Ahmed Badir's picture up. If we can put his name up for some of the viewers, and he is leading the opposition to, and it's ironic, Jerry, because we had a couple of our guys up at Muslim Day in Tallahassee, and Badir was on the steps of the old Capitol, waxing eloquently about being good Americans and living for the Constitution. And here he is fighting against a bill that would protect and enhance the principles of the Constitution. How do you reconcile that?
Well, you can reconcile that, except if you are a front for the Muslim Brotherhood that wants to use stealth jihad to insinuate itself into, quote, the legal system in the state of Florida or nationally in that regard. Okay. So when this event occurred, stunningly, late yesterday afternoon in the Senate, immediately within an hour following that, we put up a post on this magnificent, we think, result. And shortly thereafter, a representative of UAV sent out a blast email to UAV members saying, "Dirty tricks by the Senate." And so today, the senators have been inundated virtually with emails from a variety of people with Muslim-sounding names saying, "Vote no on SB 58." Well, the reality is that once this measure gets to the Senate floor for a vote, potentially on Friday, we believe from talking with sources in Tallahassee that there are sufficient votes potentially to pass it. There's only one fly in the ointment, and I think that's going to be brusquely taken care of. A certain senator, a renegade Republican from South Florida, who has the elaborate name of Miguel Diaz de la Portilla, may be poised to insert a floor amendment that is the equivalent of a poison pill. It would make certain changes in the Senate bill that would force another episode of compromise with the existing House version, which is principally the same language as in SB 58. Now, it's unclear whether Senator De La Portilla is really going to do that, because when he had an opportunity in an earlier hearing from a certain committee headed by a senator, Democrat, by the name of Eleanor Sobel, that basically, when it came down to a call for the vote, he didn't offer up the amendment.
Wow. Yeah, Mike.
So it's unclear as to whether or not he's poised to actually do that. And there's been some communications with people in Tallahassee within the last hour that pretty much indicates they haven't seen this occur yet.
Well, let me ask you this, Jer, because well, I know we got just a little bit of time with you, but what can people do right now? You're in the center of this firestorm.
I think a couple things they could do. Firstly, we have posted a stunning article on the New English Review blog, The Iconoclast, about a development that occurred that we beavered long and hard to perfect. It's a confirmation that what Rabbi Jonathan Hausman has been telling in articles and in oral testimony in the Florida Senate, that basically the arguments of the Anti-Defamation League, the ACLU, and international and family law sections of the Florida Bar Association are completely false. And we did that by reaching out to a liberal woman lawyer and member of the faculty of the Tel Aviv University, who basically agreed with Rabbi Hausman.
Wow, that is tremendous.
It's basically mind-blowing in that regard. So that information should be gotten out there, in addition to perhaps inundating with Senator De La Portilla email suggesting don't even go near the prospect of an amendment. It doesn't serve this state's interests, Senator.
All right.
Those are the two things that I can recommend.
We will get that out for sure, and we thank you, Jerry Gordon, and this thing is a nail-biter because Jerry's been around the block once or twice, as I have been, and it ain't over till it's over because, folks, even on Friday, if it passes the full House vote at the Senate level, then it's got to go to our good governor, and you never know, even though he's supporting it, you never know until it's done. And then once it's done, very possibly there's going to be a lawsuit filed, and it could get enjoined for a while. But nevertheless, there's 5 states already that have passed it. Let me see if I remember them. Arizona, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Kansas. And one more.
Oklahoma.
Well, yeah, there's another one that's voting on Friday, too.
Texas? Was it Texas?
No. Is it Texas that's voting on Friday?
No, I don't think Texas is doing it on Friday.
There's another one.
I will tell you guys this, that what Rabbi Hausman's
I got 30 seconds, Jared. I got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
All right. Rabbi Hausman's confirmation is strategic. It can be used in any major state in this country where there are a significant block of Jewish voters. Florida is one example. Texas is another. Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, even California. That's the breakthrough that this has achieved.
All right, excellent. Really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much, Jerry Gordon with New English Review up there in the northern lands of the Panhandle, keeping watch on Tallahassee. We appreciate everything you do, Jerry. We'll see you.
Thanks, babe.
All right, take
Bye-bye.
care. All right. I just got that. All right. Well, this is really amazing for all of our listeners in South Florida. Well, it's about 5:30 or so in the afternoon. As you're driving in your automobiles, going somewhere, do not drink and drive. If you go for a little cocktail, just be cool. We don't need people crashing into people, anything like that. So we want you to listen, and we're putting all the pieces together for what's going on in the state of Florida. We see bombings in the city of Boston, but there's a relationship to the law that we're trying to pass in the state of Florida so that the driving force of the ideology that resulted in the bombings has no way, shape or form gets to establish any root anywhere in the state of Florida. There's 19 million Americans, 19 million Florida citizens in this state, and we got to live by the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, the Florida Constitution, not Islamic law. I mean, it's just comical to even think of that, but that's the situation we're in right now. If you can go to my screen for a second. Now we're going to segue back to Boston, and again, these are all connected. This is the email we put out for today. It's part 2 of our 4-part series, It's Islam Stupid, the Boston bombers. And the reason why we're stressing this is because there's been a hesitancy. Have you guys noticed just a hesitancy, an obstruction to, a fear of, a resistance to identifying the jihad problem in the world as part and parcel of Islam? There's always a modification. Oh, it's extreme Islam. Oh, it's radical Islam.
The self.
What?
The self. What was it? The self.
A radicalization.
Self-radicalization. That just kills me. I mean, it's just like, how can you? How else do you radicalize other than self-radicalize? It's just truly. It's a
Why
shift
do you think?
It's a shift of blame. It's a shift of blame off of Islam, and so Islam is not responsible. It's about like saying, hey, well, the Nazis self-radicalize everyone. I go, what? No, the ideology is radical. That's the problem. The problem is the ideology to which they believe is radical. That's the reason they can appear normal and appear every day, because their beliefs are logically founded in a doctrine.
Well, let's jump into this psychology for a moment, because this is a very controversial subject, and it's difficult. We understand, folks. We understand it's extremely difficult to say, wait a minute, if you TrentoVision guys, if you United West people, if you Pamela Gellers and Frank Gaffney's and Robert Spencer's and all the other people, great people, doing tremendous work on this, the John Guandolos and Patrick Pools and Team P.2. If you guys are correct that Islam as a system has systemic problems that result in Islamic jihad, and they're not an aberration from the doctrines of Islam, if you're right, then we're talking about 1.3 billion people. And you see, what I just said, that if we are right, that certain principles are not an aberration, principles that lead to kinetic jihad, physical jihad, violent jihad, blowing up 8-year-old kids at the Boston Marathon, if those principles flow out of the system of Islam, then it's logical to conclude Islam has a problem. But that's where the psychological safety mechanisms in our brain get triggered. We can follow the logic constructing the argument that a particular system, when I say system, I'm talking about a philosophical, a theological, political construct, ideology, worldview, Weltanschauung, that has a cohesive, coherent understanding of what it believes about reality, and I'm talking about Islam. When we lay out the deconstructed analysis of the violent element of Islam, it makes sense. Where our brains start going, something's wrong with the conclusion of your logically produced sequence in your argument. But it isn't a logical misunderstanding. It's a psychological moment, or a psychological safety device, where we don't want to believe 1.3 billion people could all follow a system that wants to kill Jews, Christians, and Westerners if you don't follow the way they think.
Mr. Trento, can I let you in on a little secret if you promise not to tell anyone?
Somebody's pounding on a microphone somewhere.
If you promise not to tell anyone. The better a Muslim you are, the worse an American you are.
What did you say?
I will only say once.
Wait a minute. Breaking news. Imam Abdullah, our favorite little imam, is here with us at 5:33 in the afternoon on May 1st. This may be breaking news. Imam Abdullah, say that again, please.
I will say one more time for you.
Okay.
But it's secret, please.
Okay. Nope.
Okay.
We won't tell anybody.
We're not going to tell anybody.
We're not going to tell the 5 million
We're not
listeners.
show anybody. We're not going to do anything.
Okay. Last time I say, and this is between you and I.
You and
I.
You and
Okay.
me.
The better a Muslim you are, the worse an American you are. Quiet, please.
Okay. We will not. Ain't nobody say anything about that.
Don't.
Okay? But logically, that does make sense, I must admit, because now, how could a Muslim like Ahmed Badir? Now, Damon, or is Damon in here yet?
I am here.
Okay.
I met Ahmed.
You met him, and you were there with Alan Kornman in Tallahassee a couple of weeks ago, Muslim Capital Day in Florida. He stood on the steps, he being Ahmed Badir, who we know is a compatriot and a collaborator with convicted terrorists. We know that. And Ahmed, you have carte blanche to come on this show, sit right next to me in the seat that Osama bin Laden sat in.
You would love that.
Yes, you would like that.
His idol.
Anytime you want, you can come on Skype, you can talk. You have an open invitation to be on this show. And I'd like you to invite me onto your radio show that you have. But I won't hold my breath. I won't hold my breath. But you were there with him, with
Yes.
Ahmed Badir, and he stood on the steps of the state capitol and waxed eloquently about the wonders of the Constitution of being an American.
Absolutely did.
Well, he would disagree with Imam Abdullah's proposition or his position, which says that the better Muslim you are, the worse American you are. How could Ahmed Badir say, you're crazy, you can be a great American and follow all the teachings of Islam at the same time?
Because he is a liar.
Okay, I guess that's pretty simple.
Because he can't come out and tell the honest truth. Otherwise, he could probably be charged with treason.
All right, we're going to dig through all of this, folks, but these are some of the problems on the surface that make it extremely difficult. Go back to my screen for a second. For people, you can't do that. No, I mean the thing I got up here. Oh, my little guy died here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it died. Why would it die?
Don't die.
Yeah, my little software died.
What you're looking for, Tom?
It's back.
Tom, to
Yes.
highlight what you were saying is all you have to do is Sharia is the basis for this concept that radicalizes people to the point of jihad. If you follow Sharia to its end goal, Sharia tells you, which is Sharia Islamic law, tells you that you must die for Allah. That's how you get your ultimate
Pretty simple.
thing. And Dave, you can go to Net 2 there. Switch to Net 2 for me. And if you look at the support for Sharia law worldwide, you can easily see that it's, most of the countries must believe that Sharia is the only source of law. Tom, you want to explain what this graphic's all about here?
Muslim support for Sharia law. Let me see if I can pull it right out of the. I can pull it right out of the monitor. And there it is. Okay, there it is. I pulled it right out of the monitor. What camera are we on? Front camera.
There you go.
This camera here.
There we go.
Yeah. What are you doing?
We're chasing each other.
Okay.
Right there.
Is that upside down? No,
That's right.
All right. Well, we have these things, and they're yours for the small price. We should sell these things. These are pretty cool.
Really?
But go back to the screen. I'll explain it for a second. Here's the situation we're facing in the United States of America. This study was done. It's a global study, and it shows these
By Gallup. No,
these are
official documented sources back in 2000. I think this was done in 2010.
2010, yeah, pretty sure. Global Attitudes Project, and on your screen, the green is those Muslims who are unsure.
No. They say that it must be the source of law. If you look at the green, this says it must be the source of law. The white is Islam, Sharia must be the only source of law.
Oh, well, it's got unsure here, whatever that means, on the right.
It says, talking about on the whole total graph is 90% of the people in Egypt. Read that graph correctly. It says it must either be the source of law or must be the only source of law.
Yes. Are we looking at the same one?
Yes.
I think we are.
Yeah, I think.
Oh no, I'm at the wrong one.
Yeah, you're at the wrong one.
I was at the wrong one. I was at the. Did Arabs carry out the 9/11?
Oh yeah, that's
attack?
another interesting graph.
That's
the graph you
Here
got.
we go. Now I got at 5:38 in the afternoon on TrentoVision.tv. All right, now I'm here. Egypt, 90%. What is it? 30-something% says the only source of law must be the Sharia, and then must be a source of law. 30%. 66% say in Egypt the Sharia must be the only law. Now these are, and it goes to Pakistan, Jordan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Lebanon, Iran, Morocco.
And they're all over. I mean, in average total, they're all over 90% of the people believe that it must be either the source of law or the only source of law.
That the Sharia should be the source of law or the only law.
What is wrong with the other 10%?
Well, here's the problem. That's a good point, Abdullah. Here's the problem, folks. You think we have any people emigrated out and immigrated into the United States from Egypt or Pakistan or Jordan or Bangladesh or Indonesia?
Where was Ahmed Badir?
Oh, he's an Egyptian.
He's an Egyptian, came from Egypt and came over here. So, what are the odds of him thinking that 90% that should be the only source of law or the main source of law?
And where this gets crazy, and this is why we are showing the situation in Boston. We're taking the opportunity to have a devastating attack in the homeland to use as a teachable moment to all Americans to say, we have a problem with Islam in America. And it really isn't we. Muslims have a problem with Islam, and Muslims need to confront the problem and resolve the problem. And that ain't going to happen in Egypt. You're not going to have, in fact, it went just the opposite way. In the United States helped the Arab Revolution. And now the Sharia is essentially the law of the land in Egypt.
Thank you, Obama.
Yes, indeed. And Pakistan and Jordan, these countries are not experiencing democracy. These countries are all completely Sharia compliant. Well, here's the problem. We think if someone is coming from Morocco and coming to the United States, they want to leave the Sharia. They want to leave Islam. They want to leave all that, come to America and be an American. Well, that is a foolish way of thinking, because once you are born into a Muslim family, then you are raised in a very tribal nature. You are restricted in terms of critical thinking. And if you come over, you are mandated with what's called dawah or proselytizing. You're mandated to come to America and to win America over. And the book we put together...
Or destroy you.
Yes, or destroy you, yeah. Book we put together, Sharia, the Threat to America, lays out the Muslim Brotherhood's plan. Whether you're a Sunni, and most of these are Sunni Muslims, or a Shia, Iran, it's the obligation of Muslims to control and dominate. Now, are there anomalies? Thank God there are anomalies.
That 10%, yeah.
Thank God there are immigrants, people leaving Muslim countries, immigrating into the United States who truly, really want to reject the Sharia and all of that stuff. And Zuhdi Jasser, I would put him as one of them. His family's from Syria. He wants to maintain the Sharia in terms of his personal relationship with God, praying at home, doing all that. No, this is America. In the privacy of your home, you can do whatever you want with religion. And he wants to fight the political component of Islam.
He is an apostate.
God bless him, and we do try to help him wherever we can. But he has a handful of followers at this point, and there's 2.3 million Muslims in America. So Boston, we need to see the bombing in Boston as a moment in history where we wake up to take a new, fresh look at Islam and say, are there systemic and integral elements in Islam that are violent and are a threat to America? The book, Sharia, the Threat to America. Yes, Sharia.
But it's not only just the Sharia, Tom. It's their overall belief system. Like if you go to Net 2 here, if you look at this graph, this is what the Boston bomber was. He was a 9/11 truther. Now, most Arabs and most Muslims are 9/11 truthers. Is that graph you had up earlier?
Yeah, I got it right here, yeah.
And I think what's striking about this is these are pretty much westernized Muslims. They're coming from their German Muslims, French Muslims, Spanish Muslims. But if you look at the graph here, you have, like the UK Muslims, 83% of them are either unsure or not really sure or believe that the 9/11 attacks were not carried out by Muslims.
The Jews did it.
Yeah,
and this is what the Boston bomber believed too. And this is also the thing that gets spread throughout these countries and cultures of these lies about the Jews did it and everything else. Go ahead.
The Jews, I have one for the Jews in here.
Filthy animals.
Come over here.
Go back on the...
Let's see.
P.2.
The Muslims. All right, here's one right here. The Muslims' negative opinion of Jews.
What is wrong with the French?
Somewhat negative, very negative. Yeah, the French are kind of, all right, they're not too bad. The Jewish people aren't too bad. But over here, in Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan, 97, 95, 94, Turkey, 76% of the people polled have negative views of Jews. Pakistan, Spain's 60%, UK 47%, Germany 44%. So the Jews are really negatively viewed by Muslims worldwide.
That
Now,
French figure cannot be right.
13%.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, you see the Muslim anti-Semitism that's rampant over there. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we have been there and have seen that.
Yeah, you guys know that that's a very low number.
Now, here's another important point. Is the loyalty to Islam versus loyalty to country, Tom? You have that one up there?
Yeah, well, let's hold that one for tomorrow because I want to get into part of these videos and then we'll layer them with these things for tomorrow. But when you look at the opinion that Muslims have at 5:45 in the afternoon on May 1st, May Day, folks, Communist Day. Hey, all the communists are marching in the streets. When you look at the negative opinion that most Muslims worldwide have of Jews, you say, okay, does that magically change when they come to the United States? They go through the
it's not that self-radicalization jihad car wash.
Yeah, I mean, they go through, pass by the Statue of Liberty. You know, they're demagnetized, de-jihadized, or something. No, these are 1,400 years of beliefs ingrained in their grandparents and their great-grandparents, and on and on and on. It takes generations for this hatred to dissipate and disappear.
Can I give you one
more? It ain't happening here because the attacks against Muslims over the past 10 years are down. The attacks against Jews in the U.S. are up. Factual FBI information. Yes, Imam.
One more secret. One more secret.
Yes.
The better a Muslim you are, the more you hate the Jews.
Okay. But then why? Let me ask you this. Have you participated in interfaith gatherings with Jews?
No, I cannot do this.
Well, many Muslims do that.
I know. It is a sham. What it is meant to win you over.
Wait a minute. You're spilling like the beans today.
I know. I feel like I took a sip of truth serum before the show. Did you spike my Coca-Cola?
Bin Laden's inspiring you. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of Bin Laden up here?
I like that man other than the end when he said that there are no 72 virgins and rethink this and that, and we're a little disappointing.
You heard it from the fish's mouth. You heard it. Yeah, I mean, we have Muslim efforts all over the United States of America to bring useful idiot and village idiot Jewish people and Christian people into these gatherings and then roll them over in an influence operation to make them think Islam is something other than it is.
Pretty sneaky.
It's sneaky. And we've been to many of these, and we've busted many of these up by simply going into these meetings saying, we got a question. Do you Muslim imams believe your Quran? Yeah, well, what about when it says here to never take the Christian or the Jew for your friend? They're friends only of one another. Oh, well, you know, that was back then, and this is over here now. And, oh, well, that's not what Qaradari, not what Bukhari, not what Syed Qutb, not what Al-Azhar holds, not what Reliance holds, not what Milestones holds. So are you saying you have superior knowledge of Islam, Imam, whatever, over the great thinkers who you have to follow? And oh, who are these people? And then usually the people start yelling at us. Who are you? What are you doing here? Get out of here. You're breaking this up. We want to love each other. Kumbaya.
Islamophobe, leave.
God. When God has wired you in such a way, and I'm speaking to all of you out there that understand this, that 1 + 2 has to equal 3, and no matter what anybody says, when the law of non-contradiction, A does not equal non-A, when you're wired in such a way that these things are critical to the way you understand life and function, it's very difficult to live in this postmodern world where truth is so relative that with a flick of the tongue, you can throw factual information right in front of your eyes, staring at you out the window, and village idiots go, yeah, you see, he said that's not the way it is. But look at it. It's right there. That's why we today, folks, this 4-part series, this is part 2 on May 1st. That's why we are bringing to you a controversial subject. Islam has a problem as Islam. We're going to show you the video in a second here. We have that queued up.
Yeah, I love your analogy, Tom. You're saying it's like looking at a glass, and you see the glass is obviously full. All right, it's full. This is the glass is full, and they're trying to say no, the glass is
Not there.
It's not
It's
there.
empty. Yeah,
it's empty.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
the glass is not there. And
How many conversations have we had through the years with people, looking at the teaching, listening to somebody say, "Oh yes, the Sharia." You, Mr. Badawi, you have written extensively on the Sharia and this is what you have said. This is what you believe. We're quoting from you. Oh, interpretation. Look, that's why we do this stuff.
My favorite one with Badawi is your organization and you endorsed and signed this book. You have the stamp right here in the book. I'm looking at it.
No,
it's not there. It's not there.
There's many interpretations.
But you signed the book.
All right. Our series, It's Islam, Stupid, 4 parts, part 2 today. Part 3 tomorrow, part 4 the next day, Friday. And what we're doing, we're looking at a great website, Americans for Peace and Tolerance. The website is peaceandtolerance.org. And let's see if I have that here. I know I got so many things open here. Can we cue up that video we were looking at yesterday?
Ready to go.
All right, let's go back to, this is the Islamic Society of Boston. And we were learning yesterday in a short video that the Americans for Peace and Tolerance put together that the birthing of the Islamic Society of Boston came out of jihad hell. Abdul Rahman Al-Amoudi, who's doing a deuce and a half of time federal penitentiary, started the Islamic Center of Boston. And then Youssef Qaradari, the spiritual leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, was on the board advising them. Why do you pick Boston? Why does a big shot like that come to Boston? And then Jamal Badawi, who is one of the top Islamic Sharia scholars in the world, is on their board. And we're going to show you tomorrow a video that I shot debating with Imam Farouk. And Charles Jacobs, this is in Boston in June of 2009, asks Imam Farouk, what about Jamal Badawi? And Farouk goes, I don't know.
Who is that?
I don't know him. I don't know. Who's that? And then Charles Jacobs goes, he sits on your board. Busted! He was busted. He goes, he's a great guy. He's a wonderful guy. The guy that you didn't know about a second ago that you wanted to avoid, right?
Many Jamal Badawis.
We'll show you that tomorrow. That are Islamic scholars that sit on our board. But let's just tease the folks with about a minute of this video, and then we'll sum up because we just got a few minutes left here, and we'll nail all of this tomorrow. Check this out.
You don't have the. I'm up. There's no volume.
All right. Well, while they get the volume up, I'll read it. Muslim American Society. It was part of the evolutionary stock. Okay, you guys can sort that out later. I'll just explain. Yeah, shut that off. We'll fix that later on. The video, we have 3 or 4 videos. And let me tell you the beauty of doing these videos. When the United West produces a video, if we produce a 7-minute video, that thing took 30 hours to shoot, edit, clean up, put together, and could be literally tens of thousands of dollars if trips are involved and all of this. But we tell you a story in a few minutes to provide a tremendous amount of information like this. Watch.
The organization that runs the Islamic Center, the Muslim American Society, has been labeled by federal prosecutors as the overt arm of the Muslim Brotherhood, the global radical Islamic group that gave birth to Hamas and Al-Qaeda. Most of the money used to finance the center came from Saudi Arabia, and some had terrorist connections. A significant amount was contributed by the city of Boston when Mayor Menino agreed to donate the land in Roxbury valued at over $2 million.
Hold it.
He donated the land.
What did I tell you yesterday?
Jizya, thank you very much.
What did I tell you yesterday? Remember we were talking?
Yeah, pull that graphic up and let the people read this thing on online here.
No, here's
This
the.
is- yeah.
This is the right graphic right here. This is the only graphic we need. Here, there, Dave. If you can grab that.
Photographic quality.
Here, this is the only graphic we need. There is Governor Duval, screen left, a willfully blind village idiot, and there is Mayor Menino, and equally as willfully blind and a useful idiot.
Worse. Isn't it better?
Well, and the reason why, here we go, and the reason why is that Charles Jacobs, through his organizations, has been working for 10 years on exposing the Islamic Society of Boston. We've been working on it for about 5 years, and the mayor was confronted, and the governor were confronted time after time after time. You got bad people in there. Here's the factual information. Here's the terrorist connections. Oh, well,
Okay.
we think they're wonderful people, and we're going to give them free land. And they gave them land to build the Roxbury Mosque, which is now at the center of this jihad attack with the
More proof.
Sarnev brothers.
More proof of state-sponsored terrorism.
Unbelievable.
And not only did they get the land for free, they're a 501c3. They don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to do anything. All the money they collect for their mosque goes 10% of it goes straight to jihad. We know that.
Jihad, baby.
I mean,
We pay. All right, well, what we're doing,
Designated.
folks, is we're talking about the Boston bombers. And today the breaking news update is that three buddies of Johar from Kazakhstan. There's so many stands up there.
who founded the Roxbury Mosque, Tom?
Yeah. Well, Alamoudi founded the Islamic Society of Boston, which built the Roxbury Mosque. It's not a NATO-owned. They're not NATO-owned.
Oh, they're not NATO.
No, they had one huge Saudi donor who brought in some other donors, and we'll explain NAIT, N-A-I-T.
North American Islamic Trust.
North American Islamic Trust. We'll explain that in the days ahead. They usually own the mosque and maintain control over the theological direction, Sharia, that it goes. A huge Saudi donor put up the money, got some other donors, and said, we're not giving this over to NAIT. We're running the show in Boston. So the Islamic Society of Boston and Cultural Center they had built the Cambridge Mosque and the Roxbury Mosque. But we got to go right now, folks. Just have a few moments left. 4-part series. It's Islam stupid. We do not hate Muslims, but we hate not telling you the truth. The integrity of our academic work is critical, and if our analysis and investigation leads to the fact that there are systemic problems within the system of Islam, then we have to tell you that. And we're going to tell you a little bit more tomorrow. Right now, signing off for everybody here at TrentoVision. You take care and have a wonderful evening.